We were married in September of 2013, and I think we both wanted kids right away. Matt has an older daughter already, so we didn't want there to be too much of an age gap, but it didn't really happen that way. So we had to do some fertility treatments, and about 3 years later, we found out we were pregnant with twins, and that was a pretty big surprise. I had put a bun in our oven, and he came home from work, and I said something like, "Can you get dinner out of the oven?" And he opened up the oven, and there was just a bun in there. And so he said, "No way." I was going for weekly ultrasound appointments at that time just to make sure they were both growing at the same rate and, both getting bigger. Everything looked good. Monday came around. We were at a family barbecue that Sunday for Labor Day barbecue. Monday morning, it was around 8 o'clock, I got up and realized that I had broke one, well, I didn't know if it was one or two waters, but I knew that my water had broke, and that was September 5th, and they weren't due till November 7th, so I was immediately scared. I had to be transported by ambulance, and I think that's when things really kind of started to take a turn. I was in a lot of pain, and the doctor just said, "I'm going to keep talking to you through the pain, and this is what's the plan." And finally I just was kind of, I think, unbearable, and she said, let me check you one more time to see if anything's progressing. And that's when she said that there was an arm already coming, and that we were going to have to deliver right away. She had told me that I was going to deliver baby A naturally, and then they would put me out and take baby B C-section. I think I had hardly a push. I remember somebody saying, baby A's breech, and then they asked me, do you consent to a blood transfusion? And I said, sure. And they, put the mask on my face, and that was it.
I think there was at least 2, maybe 3 MDs running with Tracy, and you can't go. So that was the moment where we were separated through the journey, and that was very difficult for both of us.
And I knew they couldn't be much over 3 pounds. So I was thinking, that's really small, they're really small, and I didn't know, what was to come. We went down to the NICU, and Eleanor was the first room right there on the Mays side. And Henry felt like so far away. He was way down the hall in a different room. They were both hooked up to CPAP machines and just had IVs and wires. Henry had a PICC line, so he had, a IV coming out of his heel. It's super difficult not being able to just pick up your baby. You need a team of nurses to come in and make sure you're not pulling wires, and every beep that goes off, you're like, what did I do? What did I touch? Is something wrong? It was just so nerve-wracking those first, few times that we held them, I think.
Yeah, they were very small. Smaller than I had imagined.
I think it was about 2 days after I was released, one of the social workers came in and said, if you're not gonna go home and, take a break, we have a room at the Mott House.
So this option that came about saved me. I'm going home every other night at this point while everybody's in the hospital. And I'm thinking, what am I gonna do? Because Tracy looked right at me and said, I'm not going home until they come home.
When we checked into the Ronald McDonald House, they kind of sit you down and they give you this tote bag and kind of go over the rules and tell you, it's treat it like your home. There's a washer and dryer here. There's coffee. There's snacks. It's quiet. Come up here when you need a little break. That was the first time I was able to kind of, set stuff down. There was an actual bed, not just a chair to sleep in. And I just had all the time to kind of just, cry and take a shower and just be normal for a minute. It was a saving grace. It was so helpful.
It's as close as you're going to get to coming into a family member's house and them saying, everything's going to be all right. Here's your bag of things you need. This is where you're going to stay. And, you're an elevator ride away from your children.
The truth about Ronald McDonald House is that it's your home away from home.